Hey guys, in this video I want to talk about theoretical build because I was doing a build with rolling magma, but I just don't like the skill at all and I'm quitting the build. However, I was doing some interesting things with mind over matter and focus mode, and you can actually reach in theory 100% mind over matter, which would be very expensive, but you can actually reach 95% mind over matter pretty easily, I would say. You would need like 10 power charges, but and then a bunch of items with focus and focus CDR, but you can also reach 85 very easily, 85% mind over matter, so it would still have around 1 to 1.5 second downtime, during which you would lose around 25% mind over matter. I wanted to briefly show how you can achieve 95% mind over matter. I do have a theory crafted build. This isn't really a theory crafted build, this is just the items and the method how to reach it. So focus mods actually can be very strong, and now we also have focus, cooldown and recovery rate on lots of items, and they can even stack on the same item in a certain way. So for example, I have these boots. These boots would be difficult to get. I paid 80 KS and there were only one boots like that on the market with, I believe I was searching with mana, because this is like mind over matter, so you want mana. So basically you have to unveil a mod. You hit the focus has increased CDR with the you are immune to ailments while focused, and then you can bench craft focus have increased cooldown and recovery rate up to 25%. If you actually hit another unveil or another veil mod and unveil this focus have increased cooldown and recovery rate, this could actually go to 32%. So the focus cooldown would be around 5 seconds with pretty well min-maxed items. It can also be a bit lower, but I think it's nearly impossible to reach 4 second cooldown on focus. And focus, by the way, has 12 second cooldown by default and lasts for 4 seconds. You cannot increase focus duration. I'm not entirely sure, but you may still be able to self-curse with temp chain and that way increase the focus duration. But then again, I'm not too sure about that, because it says this skill duration cannot be modified. And then you are basically using Shaper's body armor, which rolls up to 10% damage is taken from mana before life, and then you just bench craft 25% damage is taken from mana before life while focused. The body armor could actually make you reach 95 much easier, or 90%. If you hit, you would basically need, wait, this is Redeemers. Yeah, it would be Shaper's body armor. I don't know why I crafted this as a Redeemers. That doesn't make sense, because it's a Shaper's body armor, and if you get elevated mod on Shaper's body armor, you can reach 15% damage taken from mana before life, and then use Ashling Slam and hope that you hit this mod, which then could go up to 32%. In theory, you could get 47% mind over matter while focused on the body armor, and then obviously you get 30% from the passive skill tree from this, then another 10% from Hierophant, this one, then another 10% up to 10% from Watcher's Eye while affected by clarity, and then this amulet, which name I cannot pronounce. You can, by the way, even quality this to get even more mana regeneration. So you basically get additional 1% damage is taken from mana before life per power charge. So if you, let's say, use 2 void batteries, by the way, you don't have to use 2 void batteries, even 90% mind over matter is crazy, because you could be running around with like 1000 life and still survive just fine, because 90% of the damage would go into mana. And by the way, this is not using any legacy items. Another thing, in Path of Building, normal cooldown recovery rate does not affect focus mode. However, in game it does. I can actually demonstrate you that. So I have, you can see, I have focus on 7.36 second cooldown. If I place normal CDR boots, these give 12%. You can see that it does now have less cooldown. So normal cooldown recovery rate does affect focus. However, it does not in Path of Building. You can mix and add jewels with 3% CDR per jewel, a jewel, and use a couple of them, but it's not gonna show up in Path of Building. You would have to modify and add it somewhere else for focus, for example. So if you want to focus, if you want to make this Mind Over Matter build, you basically have to use focus mode, and you have to use certain uniques like this amulet. Actually, this amulet is not required, but then again, if you use this amulet, basically you get no critical strike chance from power charges, but you do get mana regeneration per power charge, which is quite a lot as well. But let's say if you don't use that and you don't even focus on the power charges and get like really good body armor, like I mentioned, with 47 Mind Over Matter basically while focused, you don't need this amulet. So then you still need to worry about reducing the cooldown on focus mode. So this build actually has two focus CDR. One is the normal and one is the veil mode. Like the unique itself has up to 50% increased cooldown and recovery rate for focus, but you can also unveil focus has increased cooldown and recovery rate, and then you also get your critical strike chance is lucky while focused. This is the same mode. This is like a hybrid mode. So you can actually get 58% focus CDR on a belt, which is much better than normal CDR on a belt, which goes up to what? Up to 15 or 20%. Same on boots. Normal CDR boots, I believe, goes to 20%. Well, 15% on like normal tier, but I believe you can get up to 20% on elevated mode. However, the focus mode goes to 25 just like that, and it can, like I said, go to 32%. So in this Fear Crafter, I'm gonna include this this POB so you can see what items you need. And by the way, don't pay attention to the passive skill tree or the these jewels. This is just to show that you can use them. And in here, to see the focus cooldown, you have to basically link. You have to enable focus, and by I did that by using the helmet with the focus. By the way, I had to manually modify trigger socketed spells when you focus because the new wording is a bit different. The new wording adds with a 0.25 second cooldown, which kind of messes up. Like if you try copy this and try to import into POB, you see that it messes up and does not have the focus and does not have the trigger anymore. I modified the helmet, the trigger spell when you focus, and added any skill. So I added Shock Nova. So then you just go to Calc tab, Shock Nova, and then you see, so you look at the skill trigger rate, and then you can see that with this setup it would have 5.3 second cooldown, 5.4 second adjusting for the server tick rate. So you would have around 1.5 second downtime. You could reduce this more. This is not accounting for the CDR jewels, and like I said, you could min-max the items a bit more. Actually, to check the list, I don't know if there's our list, but you can go to Craft of Exile and search for focus has, and it will show what items can have focus has increased cooldown and recovery rate. So you can actually see what items can have boots, more boots. I don't know why. Gloves can have, but that's for minions. Then rings can have. Amulet can also have focus CDR. Then the helmet. So you could get more CDR because this is using the unique amulet, so you could get a bit more CDR on the amulet, and you could also get more CDR by using the jewels. So you could reduce the cooldown to, I believe, below 5 seconds, but you will never reach 4 second cooldown. By the way, focus cooldown begins as soon as you use it. So as you can see, I trigger it, it goes on cooldown, it expires, and I got like 2 seconds downtime. By the way, one thing that I discovered when I was playing with this, when building Mind Over Matter build, most of the builds use Arcane Cloak on the left click, so it you click Arcane Cloak and it triggers Dynamo, triggers Arcane Surge when linked to Arcane Cloak, and it just gives massive regen and triggers Arcane Surge. But you cannot do that if you place it inside the helmet, for example. Like if I place Arcane Cloak inside the helmet, it will not trigger Dynamo. It will trigger the Arcane Cloak, but you will not trigger Dynamo because Dynamo requires you to cast it, and the trigger does not count as you casting for some reason. Also, Arcane Surge would not be triggered because it requires, I don't know why exactly, actually. I think maybe it just doesn't work with trigger spells. I'm trying to see if it has that. It doesn't seem to. But you would not proc Arcane Surge. You see, I did not gain Arcane Surge. So that's one big drawback when doing this, because you're gonna want focus on your left click, but you're also gonna want Arcane Cloak on your left click. I am not a big fan of mind over matter build, so I haven't really figured crafted a viable build with this, but if you got any ideas, let me know in the comments below. I would love to see some kind of use for this. 95% mind over matter or just 90% mind over matter. I was thinking of adding petrified blood. My original plan was to use 85 or 75% mind over matter, use petrified blood, be on low life, big mind over matter, but I just don't like the rolling magma and I'm quitting the build. So that's gonna be it for now. Thank you for watching. If you got any ideas for the build, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.